Last time we spoke about the 6 deadly mistakes to avoid when starting an Airbnb cleaning business. Now we're going to figure out what we can do to literally avoid these mistakes. So the mistakes were desperately hiring employees, working with the wrong clients, overpromising services, a good way for clients to book you, your pricing is too low, and refusing to do the work. Those are the 6 deadly mistakes to avoid when starting an Airbnb cleaning business. So how do you avoid these mistakes? Okay, so first, desperately hiring employees. How do you avoid doing that? I understand that there are going to be some times that we're going to be desperate. I have been there, and it's okay, because sometimes things are rolling really fast and you just don't have time to hire anybody, and you're just hiring anybody. So the thing about, so when you're desperately hiring, obviously you have to prepare in advance. And what I mean by that is actually doing your due diligence with this employee. Now, the thing about employees, some people think, oh, I'll just do a background check and everything should be fine. That's not how it works around here. You can't check the work ethic of somebody through a background check. You can tell, whatever their criminal background is, but you cannot tell their work ethic. So for me, the main thing is observing how they are even before they get to the job. When you talk to them on the phone, when you do the first interview, how do they sound? Do they sound excited about going to work? Do they sound like they're not interested but say they're interested? What about the first day of work? Do they tell you that the tire is flat and they don't show up, or do they show up late? Those kind of soft nuances tells you a lot about a person. And not only that, after you've done the training, after you've done a day with them, how do you feel about them? Do you feel like they can actually do the job? And that's the way. If you feel like they can't do the job, then you got to let them go. There are a lot of times where people do training for their cleaners, a week, 2 weeks. When I'm teaching somebody how to clean an Airbnb, we're spending 2-3 days tops. Because if you don't get it in about 3 days, you're not going to get it. And that's where you need to understand you have to fire people fast. Because if they don't get it, then they're probably just not going to get it. So move on. The second thing to avoid is working with the wrong clients. Not all money is good money when it comes to clients. Even though somebody's willing to pay you, sometimes they're willing to pay you after giving you a really hard time. And what they say, have you heard of the 80-20 rule? It's 80% of your clients, 20% of your clients give you 80% of your work. And usually those 20% are the good clients, the ones that pay you on time, the ones that give you constructive criticism instead of nagging at you. Not always worth keeping a bad client, because they actually take time and resources from you being able to do your job. So once you let that out and you leave them clear and they're out of your life should get a little bit easier. Your job should be getting a little bit easier when you work with the right clients. Number 3, over-promising. Do what you say you're gonna do. If your client says, hey, I want you here every day, you clean at noon, you've got to create a boundary. If you can't be there every day at noon, don't just tell them, okay, I'll be there. That's not the way it works. You're running a business, so you have to understand you are also a business and you have to operate professionally. And sometimes being a professional means that you need to create boundaries, which means if you want me to be there every time I come to clean for you at noon, I'm going to need you to make sure that you pay me to be there every day at noon. So I might charge a client $15-20 to make sure that my cleaner is there at noon to be done before 3 or 4. So that's the way you create boundaries. A lot of people who start cleaning businesses, they're like, oh, they want me to, and I just can't handle it. No, handle it. Handle it. Just charge for it. If you pay me, I'll do it more than likely. So Create your boundaries and make guarantees that you stand by. For example, there's a guarantee that I give to my clients. I promise that your clean is going to be done before the next day at 3 p.m. So let's say today you booked on the calendar that you need a clean at 11. When we book a clean at 11, it only means that's as early as my cleaners can go. It doesn't mean that we will be there at 11, but I promise my clients that we will be there before 3 p.m. the next day. So if you need a clean before 3 p.m. today, you're going to have to pay extra. If you give me the grace to get it done today or tomorrow morning, you don't have to pay extra. Internally, we try to make sure it's done the same day, but externally, we can promise that it's going to be done the next day before 3 p.m. And the reason why we do that is there are days that are going to be heavy. There are going to be days when you have around a holiday or something like that, and you have all the cleans at the same time, and you have to prioritize the same day cleans versus the cleans that can be done later on that day or the next day. So we do communicate that with our clients. We make sure that we communicate that it's going to be done the next day, but we do give ourselves that grace period. All right. The fourth thing to avoid when starting an Airbnb cleaning business is not having a way for your clients to book you. So that is the first thing. When, let's say you're starting out and you want to put an ad out, and you want to put an ad on maybe Google Ads or even Craigslist, and there is no way for somebody to book you. Usually a lot of these cleaners have a website that you can get a quote. And you get the quote, and I mean, do you even get a quote that day? I don't even know. So most of the time you don't. There are times that I've even tried to, in the beginning of my days, I try to hire and subcontract other people, and it never worked for me because I would contact these people off Craigslist or off Thumbtack, and there's no way for me to contact them, to book them. If they wanted a quote, they have to come and they have to see the house and things like that. There needs to be a quicker and more automated way to be able to book you. If I need you to go to my Airbnb next Friday to clean, I don't want to have to text you or call you and ask you, are you going to be available on Friday? I want to be able to go on your site or your booking platform and book you the day that I need you. And that is going to get you a lot of clients, because what happens is it's easy and seamless for them. You have to think about the user experience. If you were the client, how would you want this to be performed? How easy and seamless would you want it to be? So you've got to think about these things. Me, if I was a client, I want to be able to contact you quickly, or maybe not even contact you. I just need you to go there and clean, and I need to book you. So these are the things that you have to keep in mind so that you can easily get bookings. If they have to search too hard for you, they're going to eventually find somebody who is easier to work with. If I come behind you, if a client is working with a cleaner that is not easy to book, and then I come around with my easy way to book and seamless way to work with me, I'm sure I can take that client, because that client wants easy. They need easy and seamless. So you have to provide that. All right, number 5, pricing too low. Some business owners think that the more cheap you are, the more customers you're going to get. That is not true. Actually, the cheaper you are, the more you're going to get turns, and people are not going to take you seriously. You're going to be spending a lot of your time with clients and not making enough money. On top of that, you're going to be burning yourself out as well as burning your team out. So you have to make enough money for your team to want to do all of this work, and you've got to make enough money for you to want to do all of this work. So you definitely have to sit down and break down the prices. For example, when I first started out, I would break down each room on how would I price it. So let's talk about a 1-bedroom apartment. It has a kitchen, a bathroom, a living room, and a bedroom. So let's say we decided to price all of those at $20. That's 2, 4, 6, 8. That's $80. So let's say we're pricing the unit $80 for a 1-bedroom, because it's a simple 1-bedroom. Okay, what are you going to pay your cleaners? Let's say we pay our cleaners $40, 50-50, for example. So your cleaner, in my example, I would pay my cleaner for 2 hours, because it's an hour and a half. I always pay 2 hours. My cleaner is going to get paid $20 an hour. to clean a 1-bedroom apartment because it's only going to take them no more than 2 hours. So they're getting paid $20 an hour to get it done. You're also getting the other $40 for not only your labor, you have to schedule, you have to have a booking scheduler, you have to schedule your cleaners, you have all this overhead, you have insurance, you have all these things that you got to do to pay for. So you could do it like that. You could do 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, however you want to do it, but definitely sit down and make the calculations and make sure that it makes sense and make sure that you're covering your bases and make sure that you're covering your cleaners. The 6th thing to avoid when starting a cleaning business is refusing to clean. Now, I have heard of other cleaning business owners, particularly maybe residential, maybe commercial, that you can be a cleaning business owner and not be able to clean. My friends in the cleaning business don't agree with that. I also don't. But it is possible. I have seen it done. It's rare, but people can. But when it comes to vacation rental cleaning, Airbnb cleaning, short-term rental cleaning, especially if you're starting to learn now, unless you got my course, there is not really a way for you to understand how to operate the business of vacation rental cleaning because it's completely different than commercial cleaning and residential cleaning. It's different than any other kind of cleaning. So you have to understand the process to understand what your cleaners are going through, because this is what usually happens. Your cleaners are having a hard time, they quit, and you have to keep hiring somebody, but you don't solve their problem. And if their problem could be, for example, let's say one of your cleaners' problem is that they have a problem with waiting for the guest to check out, and they're spending 30 minutes, an hour outside of the door waiting for the guest to check out. This is a frustration of theirs. Well, if you don't know about it, then you won't understand that you probably need to compensate them for that, or you need to ask your client, okay, this is our policy when the guest is not checking out in this amount of time, then we're gonna have to charge you for this. So now the client is gonna work harder to get that guest out, but now your cleaner is chill, not stressed out that they have to waste 30 minutes to an hour or maybe 2 hours waiting for the guest to check out. They know that you are taking care of them. They know that the boss is behind them. The thing about it is you can't make your cleaners figure out the hard problems. You are the boss. You are the chief executive officer. You are the one creating the ideas and you are the one solving the problems. So don't leave the problems for your cleaners to solve. This is a problem for you to solve. That's why you need to be very involved into what is going on so that you can help your cleaners out and streamline the process so that you can grow your business. All right, you guys, that's all. I hope this was helpful. And again, as usual, if you want to be closer to success, hit the like and subscribe button. See you next time.